The Endocrine Disruption Exchange, known as TEDx, is a U.S.-based nonprofit organization founded in 2003 by environmental health analyst Dr. Theo Colborn. At TEDx, we compile and disseminate scientific evidence on the health and environmental damage caused by low-level exposure to chemicals that affect our hormone or endocrine system, known as endocrine disruptors. As part of our mission, TEDx has compiled thousands of scientific studies on the endocrine effects of different chemicals. Over the years, many people, including policymakers and chemical safety regulators, have asked us for a validated list of endocrine disrupting chemicals. A few years ago, we began to develop such a list. Our goal was to create a list of chemicals with one or more published, accessible, primary scientific studies demonstrating effects on the endocrine system. The initial list was released in 2011. We recently upgraded it and added sources and uses for each chemical, which makes it a much more useful and informative resource. There are nearly 1,000 chemicals on the list, and many more will be added in the near future. I'm going to walk you through how to access and navigate the TEDx list of potential endocrine disruptors. Here's a view of our website. First, go to the tan box on the left labeled Endocrine Disruption and click on the TEDx list of potential endocrine disruptors. This is the screen you will see. There's an introduction, a link to information on how and why we created the list, and a link to the search page. Clicking on the search page link brings you to a page where you have several options for how to search for chemical information. Let's start with the easiest. To see all the chemicals currently on the list, simply click here. On the left, it says Search Results for All Chemicals, because we asked for a search of all the chemicals in the list. It also shows how many matches were found. Moving down the page, we see a table with 4 columns. The first column shows the chemical name. The next column to the right shows alternative names. This is followed by the Chemical Abstract Service Number, or CAS number, for each chemical. This is a number used by the American Chemical Society to identify unique chemical substances, which avoids confusion around multiple alternative names. The last column on the right shows the date we added the chemical to the list. One of the nice features of this table is that you can click on any one of the column headings and sort the table by that column. The list is initially sorted by the chemical name, but clicking on, for example, Date Added, shows you the most recently added chemicals in the list. This is useful for those who have incorporated our list into their own projects and need to update their databases. Now let's try another type of search. Go back to the search page. At the top of the page is a box labeled Search by Chemical Name. Here you can type in a chemical name or part of a name, which results in the search of both the chemical name and alternative name fields. Let's try the pesticide permethrin. Simply type in the name, then click on Search. This search produced 2 chemicals, permethrin and cypermethrin. If you're interested in permethrin, simply click on the chemical name for a short fact sheet. The fact sheet shows the chemical name, permethrin, the CAS number, and possible alternative names. It also shows all the categories for the chemical. Here you see that permethrin is a pesticide. It is found in household products, and it is used in medical, veterinary, or research settings. Next, and most important, are references for the scientific studies that support the chemical as an endocrine disruptor. There may be 1 or more. Here I have to stress that the number of references does not reflect the amount of research that has been done on each chemical. Chemicals might have evidence from many scientific studies not shown in the list. Sometimes we only included 1 reference, and for practical reasons, we rarely included more than 5. So the number of references should not be used as a method of ranking or prioritizing the chemicals as endocrine disruptors. Finally, on this page, you see references for where we found information on the sources and uses of each chemical. These were obtained by searching chemical CAS numbers primarily within databases that are compiled by the U.S. National Library of Medicine. Links to those databases are available on our website. It's very difficult to know every source or use of a given chemical, and even more difficult to keep up with changing product formulations. Sometimes the information is not even available to the public. So while we tried to be comprehensive, we can't guarantee that every use and source has been captured in our database. Let's try another example. We'll close this page and go back to the search page. This time we'll type in the CAS number. For a CAS number search, you have to type in the exact CAS number. Then hit Search or Enter on your keyboard. And you see the chemical we wanted, triclosan, which has several alternative names as well. You might also have noticed these icons in the upper right. They allow you to easily print the page or save it as a PDF document. And again, clicking on the chemical name takes you to the fact sheet. You get all the same information as before, and perhaps you knew triclosan was an antimicrobial used in hand soaps, which puts it in the personal care product category. But maybe you hadn't thought of it as a pesticide, and you might not have known that it's used in plastics and other household products. The fact sheets can also be easily downloaded or printed. Now let's try a category search. To see all the chemicals that are identified as ingredients in household products, you simply check this box and click Search, and here's the list. If we go back to the search page again and click on Household Products and Flame Retardants, we get a list of the flame retardants that are also found in household products. And of course, you can click on any one of these to get the fact sheet. By now, you're probably wondering why we call it the list of potential endocrine disruptors. That's because there are many different assays or experimental tests that can be used to look for disruption of the endocrine system. Which of these tests and how many are necessary has yet to be decided by regulatory agencies in the US or abroad. Our list was developed based on the scientific definition of endocrine disruption, which considers any evidence of hormone action to be evidence of endocrine disruption. And for us, one study was enough to justify precaution. I would like to thank the entire TEDx staff, in particular Dr. Lynn Carroll, for building the list, and of course our many supportive funding sources. You can find more information on our website at endocrinedisruption.org.